your dreams trying to tell you something? Author M.B. Mosley teaches you how to decode your dreams and take hold of the manifestations that lay in wait for you in the waking realm. Now, broadcasting all over the world, it's the Dream Interpretation Podcast.
Decoding Dreams Podcast is a podcast geared to teach you on how to understand the dreams that are coming through to you in your spiritual dream realm. It is a podcast that teaches you on how to decipher and decode the symbols that are within the dreams in the spiritual dream realm. Of course, with a cautionary tale of understanding that each dream is unique to the person that dreams of the dream, and that not all dreams are a one-size-fits-all. Matter of fact, every single dream is different in context, in symbol, and in messages, depending on one's personal beliefs, spiritual background, religious beliefs, and all other kinds of characteristics that can pertain to that. Here at Decoding Dreams, I teach you on the basics of understanding the general symbols so that you can then put those symbols next to your personal waking life and unravel the gift of message from the spiritual dream realm.
Hey family, get in here, get in here, get in here. Let's get to this. Wishing that this podcast finds you and yours doing fabulous. Peace, love, and happiness to you, family. Sending nothing but good vibes your way, baby. Receive it. Yes. Say yes to all the good energy, all the positive energy. Say yes. Okay? You can never get enough of that. You can never overdose on positive energy. All right, class. I am so excited to be back. To be back. All right, so we are continuing our learning from the book Astral Travel, Your Guide to Secrets of Out of the Body Experiences, written by Gavin and Yvonne Frost. Once again, with a quick disclaimer, if I like to do this, and those that have been paying attention to the podcast for a while, you know me, I'm the disclaimer queen. But at the same token, we may get some folks that are tuning into the podcast for the first time and happen to tune into this podcast episode as well for the first time. So this is part 3. I highly recommend you start at part 1, part 2, because part 1 we start explaining about astral projection, and then we go to part 2, and then we come into part 3, still on the conversation of astral projection is the umbrella, right? And we talk about decoding dreams in the spiritual dream realm, and we talk about all things spiritual here. And definitely things that are spiritual in our waking life as well. So we are looking at our astral dreaming as you are on the Decoding Dream podcast. All right. So now part 3, we're going to jump into it. This is on page 32. Ha ha ha. All right. So you astral project every night. Dun, dun, dun. All right, enough with the dramatics. When you start recording your dreams, you will notice that they fall into definite categories. Now you all remember, pause. Now you all remember, I have to have fun by myself, guys, but I feel your energy. Now you all have to remember, right? Or if you recall, we should say recall. As we've been learning the art of decoding dreams from the spiritual dream realm, we have been learning how to, perhaps remember our dreams. And we learned not too long ago on Decoding Dream Podcast as well, the meaning of certain symbolisms, colors, and so forth. Now, in this book, Astral Travel, we diving deep. Right? Remember, we're talking about astral dreaming. So now we're going to dive into some categories here. Now, if you recall as well, we talked about the different types of dreams and so forth. And I remember one time there's a podcast on, where we touch on dreams, premonitions, visions. And I felt it was really important. I think probably 3rd or 4th podcast when we started the podcast. And I felt it very necessary so that we can also, so that we're also able to decode our dreams successfully. It makes all the sense if it is a vision. It makes all the sense if it was a premonition. It makes all the sense if it was a message. It makes all the sense. That way, when we get the differentiation on that as well, and there are other parts that we did dive into, but now we're going, as we dig deeper, peel the onions back. Okay, dig deeper. Dig it, girl, dig it. All right, so let's get into, we're going to start off by learning category 1, right? Because in this part, they say you astral project every night. And so on category 1, we have what is known as the observer dreams. You are outside and apart from the dream. You are sitting in a cinema viewing the action as it passes before you. You should pay close attention, for the scene may contain an omen or a portent that will help you in your life. Yeah. Anyone want to bear witness to those observer dreams, right? Like, wait a minute, how come I never see, my face or anything like that? You're part of, it's like, I always had, I believe the last time I gave an example, not the best example because I'm not a gamer. My husband games. So with what I've seen, when he has, and y'all gonna laugh at me because that's how bad I am. I mean, I've always called it a joystick or joypad, right? I don't know, the little controller, the controller for the games all my life, ever since my brother tried to teach me how to play Sonic, the Hedgehog, and and I remember he used to try to teach me how to play Mortal Kombat. I just like the part where they finish him. Trust me, he was finishing me because I didn't know what I was doing. I think that's why he used to like playing video games with me. And then I was so horrible. My hand-eye coordination, I'm not gonna lie. And at one point in time, I think my brother was just like, sis, nope, not for you, because especially when it came to the driving video games. And my husband recently tried to, because he was like, what games do you like? Like, he caught himself trying to set me up with I think it's a PlayStation, I don't know. But like, where the main TV is, child, I'm like, I don't know. I like driving games. And it was the same feeling from when I was young with my brother, because I take the stick, the controller, and I cannot control the buttons. Maybe if I work on it, it'll, anything you work on with repetition, I guess it'll work itself out, but I'm not so serious about it. But just like I was back in the day when I was playing with my brother, when it came to driving, it's the same thing that happened here when my husband was trying to, they show me how to work the control pad. I was like just gassing it, and then I have to use my hands, like, they go all over the place. Like, I don't stay still with the controller and just move my thumbs. That's why I think that one video game that came out, I think it's like the Wii or something, the one where you could actually like play tennis and do things with the controller. I think that one would have been a perfect fit for me, but I completely digressed. All right. So we astral project every night. So those observer, point being, wow, she went all the way around to get here. Point being, the observer dreams, to me, the analogy that I've given before, is almost like you're playing a video game, if you ask me. And I know that there's all sorts of types of games and so forth, but like you are the main player in that game. And this is a good analogy, the cinema, right? You are watching a movie, also more so. Category 1 is the observer dream, where you're seeing everything around you. Remember the last 2 sentences here reading, you should pay close attention, for the scene may contain an omen or a potent that will help you in your life. All right. I need to put a note on that, put a pin in that. All right. Let's go to category 2. Okay, well, maybe let's talk about it before we go to category 2, what I really want to talk about, because we have been learning how to decode dreams, right? And so what you want to, in this section, family, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. And if it's your first time, I'm trying to get an understanding on decoding dreams, I suggest you go all the way back to the start, just so that you start to build up because we definitely getting deeper into this. Okay. And I want to say that because this next thing I'm going to comment on category 1, where it says you should pay close attention, for the scene may contain an omen or a portent that will help you in your life. Here's the thing. All things spiritual dream realm, anything where your spirit is, is in the realms. You're getting messages. You're getting messages for the most part. That's why it's important to pay attention. So the suggestion here is we astral project all the time. So one of the categories is you're out there and you're in a cinema, in an observatory mode, right? But there could be messages there still for you. The beauty of astral projection in theory has always been to be able to go to past, future, and present, right? And so perhaps there could be messages for the future, something to do with the present, or perhaps, this is a far off analogy, but let's say maybe you're a historian or a historical buff, and maybe there are elements in your research that you might need to find out about the past history, and you might be able to astral project. Listen, let's move on and learn, okay? Classes in session. So, point being is pay attention. Pay attention. All right. So, category 2. All right. When you start recording your dreams, you will notice that they fall into definite categories. Category 2, participant dreams. In these, you are actively present, usually though you are being tormented in some way. The torment may range from something very mild to an all-out crisis or pursuit by some unknown terror. Such dreams tend to become nightmarish. They are signs that something is definitely amiss in your life and needs correcting. When you have one of these dreams, you can remember that it is your dream and you can change it in any way you wish. If it becomes too nightmarish, stop. Say to yourself, this is ridiculous. I'm doing it to myself. Or I've got the message and I'll fix my life tomorrow. When you think in this way and the dream scene obeys your command, it is a true dream. You understand? So when you're able, in one of the podcasts, I beg your forgiveness for all of this because I don't have the podcast numbers. But if you are new to the podcast, I have touched on the same part. I want to say the podcast that teaches you on how to do a dream recall and remembering your dream. I believe I talk about how you can bring yourself out of the dream realm if you are not having such a good time there. And so remember, most things as well is all with repetition. I had learned how to bring myself out of the spiritual dream realm some year when I was probably early teens. I don't recall, but because I got tired of having these really dark dreams that were scary dreams at points. And so it took repetition and practice till I could fully bring myself to realizing in that state that it's not real, and to come into it. It serves its purpose now in my adulthood. One of the things that I'm going to do in life is go for the past life regression. I may have talked about that on this podcast, only because some of these things that make my heart stop a little bit or maybe make faster is the fear of bodies of water. And weird enough, I swam all out through when I was in primary school and so forth. We swam competitively and stuff like that. So that part is good. Like clear water, swimming pool water, I'm game, like right there. But I cannot, for some reason, get into like murky water, dark water, river water, ocean water. If I go, and I love the beach. Yes, give me white sand and baby blue, turquoise blue waters. I'm happy, but all that water will still stop at my ankles. I'm like, I don't know, maybe because Jaws is out there. No, I'm just teasing. But something. So I'm only saying that to say for me, because, right, nightmarish. Dreams are so different for all kinds of people. And so for me, it's been the dreams where I either am free falling, and then don't give me a free falling into the water. Oh my gosh. Those. I'm like, we out. I'm up. I can't. I've had a couple of those where it's like free falling and then whoosh, you're in a body of water. And sometimes I've been in the water and I'm able to breathe in the water, but something about being in a large body of water like that, that's not a swimming pool, because they were not swimming pools. They seem like river atmospheres, or the waters were blue and so forth. And yes, then would do, dream interpretations for myself, yada, yada, yada. But if I probably discuss this in my culture, then they're going to say that I am probably of the mermaid, I belong with the mermaids or some crap like that, right? Because that's what they try to say. Culture is interesting and respectable, right? Mm-hmm. Something to do with mermaids would be the interpretation if I told an adult about my dreams and in waters and so forth and like stuff like that. But so you get the point. So it's just the point of like being able to you got to pay attention and then working on bringing yourself to an awakening there, coming to a full consciousness from your subconscious state as you're sleeping. All right, let's go on to category number 3. When you start recording your dreams, you will notice that they fall into definite categories. So category number 3, move this little part. All right. These are participant dreams, but you are not in control. Pay attention. All right, so these are not dreams. They are astral trips. This type of dream occurs every night. Our researchers call them A-state dreams. In them, you are actually astral traveling. One of the ways in which you can tell the difference between a category 2 and a category 3 dream is that in the category 2, you have full control over events around you. You can stop the oncoming car. You can turn the tap on and off. In category 3 dreams, astral travel, you have little or no control over events around you. If you stand in the path of an oncoming car, it will pass right through you. The car is a real vehicle going somewhere, because remember, you're in the astral plane. And unlike the situation in category 2 dream, you cannot stop it. Dun, 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 dun. Should bring this closer. Hold on 1 second. You cannot stop those events. All right. Unlike a category 2. All right, so you will not be harmed in any way by the experience because your astral is not a thing of flesh and blood. The car exists in a different plane of reality than your astral self. When you astral travel into the present real world, the here and now, you can make your presence felt in very minor ways. Experiments have shown that the astral body can actually weigh something in the order of 56 grams, in parentheses 2 ounces. If you can imagine things that would be affected by something that weighs so little, these are the things you can make happen. In other words, you can turn the pages of a book, but you cannot lift the book. When we discuss other places that you will go in astral travel, we will tell you what you can and cannot expect to be able to make happen in them. In each of the realms, we will show you how to visit. There are general cosmic rules which you cannot flout. And I think we talked a little bit about this. Pause. All right, pause. We talked about this, right? I love you guys so much. This is a anti-fear mongering platform, okay? We don't do fear energy on here. And so, but we do research and resources, and we want to be well versed. So if you're particularly interested in astral traveling, astral projection, astral dreaming, perhaps strengthening that muscle and or engaging in astral travel, my recommendation to you, once again, it may sound repetitive to those that have been listening to these parts, but just in case it's your first time to this episode and to this podcast, is that you become well versed on astral traveling itself. I've given you the book title that we're reading from, Astral Travel, Your Guide to the Secrets of Out of the Body Experiences, Gavin and Yvonne Frost. And the most important thing you want to also do is understand the preparations that come with that. You're going to astral realms, different energies. So you always want to make sure that in that moment, there's no low vibration going on around you, and that your frequency is not low, right? So in other words, you want to make sure that you're vibrating at a higher frequency and that you are at a higher vibration. So just remember that the possibilities in astral traveling is higher frequencies, high vibrations to better higher realms. Low frequencies, lower vibrations to down deep yonder. Okay, none of these realms are going to hurt you, but remember that, because you're not traveling in your flesh and blood body, such as the book does highlight. All right. Otherwise, listen, story time. Okay. Y'all been hearing a couple of the stories. You heard about the one beautiful family's house I wound up in. And then, so when I found myself, doing protocols, being tenacious with, getting a further understanding of astral projection. Listen, like I said, this is now laughs. It's really funny to me now. That's why I say, do a little bit more research. I sound like a broken record, because tell me why I wound up out of the body in my bedroom at nighttime. It was dark. And I saw the shadow of my body, and it lasted about 60 seconds. Almost I want to say under 60 seconds, because it was that quick. Like the minute my mind saw my body laying there, I was like, oh crap, I'm dead. No, thank you. I don't think so. And then just that quick, I was back in the body. But here's the thing, though, and that's part of it. That's why I encourage people to get comfortable if there's something you're interested in, so that your intentions are directed to the right place. This is not like, oh, let's just try it out and play with it or whatever. It's an amazing experience. But here's the thing. I wasn't ready, right? I wasn't really, my intentions were not yet set straight, because what happened was I ended up being fearful, and I got scared real quick. And boom, that experience was done. But, I've been, and I think it took me probably another 2-3 months. I was like, you know what, I'm going to park this right here, read a little bit more, figure it out a little bit more, meditate a little bit more, because the concept is not to be fearful, but that's why I like to just say, hey, listen. Should have seen me. I woke up, boy. I was like, oh, no, ma'am, not today. Boy, that was a weird feeling. I was like, oh, my God, I'm dead. So, and pause. In the earlier podcast, you also find a podcast where I talk about how to sanctify or cleanse or prepare your sleeping space to bring in, positive energy and to flow in high frequencies and high vibrations. And so those are earlier podcasts to the Dream Interpret. Listen, child, we have a new name, Decoding Dreams Podcast. I was going to say to the Zip Baby, Zip Baby, Zip Dream Zone Interpretation Podcast. Shout out. All right, so let's continue. In the here and now realm, you will find you can pass through physically existing objects such as your bedroom wall, and things like cars can pass through you. The here and now world is populated with real people going about their mundane business, and these two will pass right through you. It is also populated with other astral beings. These beings appear solid to your astral body because you and they are on the same plane of existence. When your astral self tries to pass through another astral being, in contrast to real or mundane people, You feel the impact as you bump into them. Relationships can be formed on the astral. If anything, these are even more fulfilling than those in the everyday world. This is particularly true in cases of sexual relationships, which are totally guilt-free, fulfilling, and exquisite. I plead the fifth on that last part. Oh, guys, life is such a wonder. The mystery of life itself is such a splendid wonder. Anywho, so we are learning a lot. We're learning a lot. And I think there's an ongoing theme here, especially as it pertains to decoding our dreams in the spiritual dream realm. So in that category 3, the understanding about astral projection / astral dreaming, we are learning that before we endeavor in that, we want to make sure that we're in the right frequency and the right vibration. Because with any, let's go as far as understanding this. Anything spiritually related. All right. Listen, because it's my podcast and I want to relay the standard, the aspects, I guess I should say, but I'm not judging anyone, because some people may like to go, I don't know who likes to go searching for negative energy, negative soul entities. I'm not sure, but as it pertains to the spiritual dream realm, let's just understand this one general rule, right? Is contingent on our energy, contingent on our vibration, contingent on our frequency. So I say all that to say, no matter what it is with the astral dreaming, or whether we prepare to get into the spiritual dream realm, most things are contingent on our energy source, because dreaming in the spiritual dream realm is based on our emotions, based on our feelings, based on all those elements there that are connected to your energy. And so I have learned a lot.
All right, you can find me on Instagram under Memory Bengesa-Mosley. And Bengesa is BENGESA-MOSLEY. And once you're over there, check out the Linktree /author MB Mosley. You will find a list of all my links where to purchase my books. Or you can also take one of my writing courses, and you can follow the Vetting Guide Publishing House. And or you can check out the next book releases. You also have my full website available there, where you can go to the blog section and print off your dream sheet templates. And I guess it was an Amazon influencer with the storefront. Check that out. And don't forget to click on the American Dreamer clothing. Yes, honey, yes. And then, of course, you have a link to the YouTube where I do upload some of the Dream Decoding Podcast. And it's an interactive platform as well. We can talk on Instagram and or we can chat on YouTube. And definitely there's a Facebook link. And all these links are associated with my Instagram, IG, Memory Bengesa-Mosley.
For God speaks in one way and or in two, though man does not perceive it. He speaks in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber on their beds. Happy dreaming.